Listen to this man. He got some good news for you. Everybody. The doctor's in the house. The doctor's in the house. So lend him your ear. The things he could say might even make your day. He might even help your pain go away. The doctor is in the house.
Oh, yeah.
The doctor is in the house.
The doctor is in the house.
Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house.
Are you tired of sugar-coated health advice? Welcome to Dr. Ron Unfiltered Uncensored, where real talk meets real wellness. Dr. Ron cuts through the noise with bold insights on health, longevity, and living your best life. No filters, no fluff. Join the Wellness Warriors, a community of truth seekers dedicated to taking charge of their health, challenging the status quo, and unlocking their full potential. Ready to ditch the nonsense and get real about your well-being? Tune in to Dr. Ron Unfiltered Uncensored. Your health deserves the truth.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Dr. Ron, host of Dr. Ron Unfiltered Uncensored. And I do welcome everyone with an attitude of gratitude, and I'm continuing to appreciate all the new listeners we are getting. So the last couple of episodes have been on a topic that is really dear to me, and that's the energy medicine of the future. It is really here today. And some of my colleagues and myself, we practice it, we talk it, we live it, and we are developing different methods of transmitting these frequencies. So stay tuned. We'll have more about the ArcWave card, which is in development, and more about the multi-wave oscillators and frequencies. And it's going to be the topic that will consume most of next year, I'm pretty sure. But in the meantime, we have some practical things we have to talk about, like the connections between electromagnetic fields, microbiomes, and our health. We're going to have to talk about 5G and how we can live with it and mitigate it, because it's all around us. There's a website called Antenna Search. Put your address in there and see how many antennas are right around where you live. They are worse than secondhand smoke. A secondhand smoke you can avoid. These you cannot. So today we're going to bring you some unfiltered truth. And we're going to dive into a fascinating but complex topic. The interconnected roles of the gut microbiome, that superior interior we have been talking about for 5 years, our DNA and electromagnetic fields, commonly known as EMFs. And we're going to talk about how they impact one of the most vital components of our cells, the mitochondria. The mitochondria are often called, what are they called? You should know this, the powerhouses of the cell, because they generate energy. But what happens when external forces like electromagnetic fields, internal regulators like your DNA, and unexpected players like gut bacteria come into the picture? Well, let's stick around, because we're going to unpack the science, the connections, and what you can do to optimize your health in today's heavy tech world. So, let's set the stage here. The mitochondria, and you know what an important role they have in our health. These tiny organelles, trillions more than our normal body cells, are found in nearly every cell of your body, and their main job is to produce ATP. What is ATP? That's the energy currency. That's the cryptocurrency of our cells. Without sufficient mitochondrial function, you will experience fatigue, brain fog, and even the early stages of chronic disease and chronic illness, and probably with inflammation, the basis of most chronic diseases. But mitochondria are more than just energy producers. They regulate cellular communication, they manage oxidative stress, and even play a role in controlling your immune response. And this makes them highly sensitive to both internal and external influences. Now we get into the EMFs, the microbiome, and the genetic factors. So, when these systems are out of balance, your mitochondria take a hit, and so do you. Remember, that orchestra gets out of tune. Now let's talk about our gut microbiome for a minute. That's where most of our immunity is located. It's a community of trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system. And what happens? It turns out that your gut and mitochondria are deeply connected. Why? Because gut bacteria produce essential vitamins like B vitamins that the mitochondria use for energy production. Short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, made by your microbiome, directly support mitochondrial health. And a balanced microbiome keeps systemic inflammation in check. This protects your mitochondria from oxidative damage. But here's the kicker. We've talked about it before. EMFs, electromagnetic fields, can disrupt the balance of this microbial ecosystem. Studies show that prolonged EMF exposure may decrease beneficial bacteria, allowing harmful microbes to dominate. And what's that? There's a name for that. It's called dysbiosis. Dysbiosis. And that can lead to inflammation and poor mitochondrial health and function. A superior interior. Keep that in mind. So, what's the point? Your gut is not just for digesting food. It's actively influence. It has an active influence on your energy systems in every cell of your body. Think about it. Your gut. And those of our listeners that have been with me for a long time can maybe remember how we talk about the leaky gut syndrome, that single layer of cells that is disrupted by certain foods and chemicals, allowing poisons to get into our system. And we probably should repeat that again. Your gut is not just about digesting food. Keep that in mind. Write that down. Now, let's add 3 more letters. Let's add DNA into the mix. Your DNA is your genetic blueprint, but it's also dynamic. It's influenced by your environment. That's called epigenetics. Some people think that epigenetics plays a 90-some% role in your output and how you act. It's not just the genes, it's how they are influenced. And guess what? The mitochondria have their own DNA. It's called mitochondrial DNA, and it's separate from the DNA in your cell nucleus. And mitochondrial DNA is highly susceptible to damage because it lacks the same protective mechanisms as your nuclear DNA. So, EMFs, what do? They increase production of reactive oxygen species, ROSs. And why is that important? Because they can break the DNA strands. They can also and may also trigger epigenetic changes. They're the modifications that turn genes on and off without altering the genetic code. These changes can impair mitochondrial function over a time period. In simple terms, EMFs don't just stress your mitochondria. They can mess with the instructions your DNA provides, leading to a cascading bunch of health issues. This orchestra is really going to be out of tune. let's talk a little bit more about this invisible disruptor. As I always said, this is worse than secondhand smoke. You can't see it. You don't know it's there unless you're looking for it, and have been aware of the problems EMF can cause. They're invisible waves of energy. They come from sources like cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, household appliances, microwave ovens. While these fields are considered low energy compared to X-rays, their consistent exposure can have a cumulative effect on your biology, on your microbiome. They can reduce the diversity of the microbiome. And why is that important? Because if you reduce the diversity, you weaken your gut's ability to support mitochondrial health. There are some people that they call themselves mitochondriacs because they're so concerned, and rightfully so, about their mitochondria. So, EMFs affect the microbiome. That can affect your mitochondria. They can affect the DNA and induce oxidative stress, which harms both the nuclear and mitochondrial DNA. And the EMFs can have effect on the mitochondria themselves because they can disrupt the electrical potential across mitochondrial membranes, reducing their ability to produce ATP efficiently. That's the energy. Some people call this electrical potential, the zeta effect. So there you have the disruption, the trifecta of disruption. Here we go. The trifecta of disruption on the microbiome, on the DNA, and on the mitochondria from EMFs. It's like a perfect storm for low energy, poor immunity, and chronic illness. How many times have you gone days and said, "Oh, I wish I had some more energy. I don't have enough energy to do what I want to do"? Now think about EMFs and their effect on the trifecta, the microbiome, the DNA, and the mitochondria. So what can you do? What can we do? Well, obviously, fear is not the answer, and the goal is not to fear technology, but to coexist with it in a healthier way. So what should we do? Number one, reduce your electromagnetic field exposure. What have I said for years? Turn off your Wi-Fi router at night. Use a speakerphone or headphones instead of holding your phone to your ear. Keep electronics away from your head. Keep those timers, the electronic clocks. Keep them at least 3 feet from your bed. Don't sleep with your cell phone on in your bedroom. And there are all kinds of measurements about having a headphone up to your head and using a speakerphone. And we'll get into that field when we talk about the pineal gland and how that's becoming calcified because of fluoride and electromagnetic fields. But we won't go down that rabbit trail right now. So reduce our EMF exposure. Support your gut. Eating fermented foods. Taking probiotics. That will help to maintain a healthy microbiome. Include in that mix prebiotic fibers like those found in garlic and onions to nourish the bacteria. And you know I like the spore biotics. There's a few companies that make them because the shell of the spore can withstand the harsh environment of the stomach acids and small intestine. So we're going to reduce our EMF exposure, support our gut, protect our mitochondria. So we need to have it to take antioxidants like vitamin C, E, coenzyme Q10. They help to neutralize oxidative stress. And do you remember what grounding or earthing is? Walking barefoot on natural surfaces to discharge the excess electromagnetic field-related charges. grounding mats, sleeping on grounding sheets, all important in this environment that we live in, and optimize the health of our DNA. And we do that by getting adequate restorative sleep, because during this time, the DNA repair processes work while we're sleeping. Really important. Our brain detoxifies while we're sleeping through a organization of vessels called the glymphatic system. Your brain shrinks down in size at night to force all those toxins out of your brain. That's why it's important to have a great 8 to 12 ounce glass of water when you wake up in the morning. Get that brain hydrated again from being dehydrated while you're sleeping. So optimize your DNA, protect your mitochondria, support your gut, reduce your EMF exposure. And one thing, but not last and not least, avoid unnecessary radiation exposure like prolonged CAT scans or X-rays. I talked to you about this a couple of weeks ago, like a abdominal CAT scan might be equal to 200 chest X-rays. And we talked about how much melatonin it would take, 200 to 300 milligrams, 2 hours before that to mitigate some of the effects of the X-rays. I know, not easy to do, but these small changes can have a big impact on your overall health and energy. Who would not like to have more energy? So there you got it. The hidden connections between your microbiome, your DNA, your electromagnetic fields, and your mitochondria. These systems are deeply intertwined. And if you understand the relationships, you can help yourself to make better choices in our tech-driven world, which is not going to go backwards. Okay, so we have to learn how to live in this world and to keep our bodies healthy and keep our energy levels up. We have to have high energy, because as our voltage in our body decreases, and when it gets down around 50, we start getting dis-ease. We start getting sick. When it gets 40 or less, we start getting the big C, or a chance to get it anyway. So we want to have a lot of volts in our body, and we want to get rid of the bad charges that we get from the electromagnetic fields. So I tried to, in today's episode, share some of this with you. I hope it resonated. If it did, maybe you can pass this information on to somebody else. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on Podbean or Spotify or BitChute, Rumble, WordPress, Doc Ron Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. One more shout out to Dr. Raj. And until next time, stay informed, stay energized, and always stay unfiltered. Have a great day. See you next time. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Dr. Ron's finished for today. I hope you got some good wisdom for what the man had to say. If it's all about good health, he's the man you got to see. He has a lot more answers for you. So tune in next week when the doctor is in the house. Or when the doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you when the doctor is in the house. So if you have a pain, call the doctor. If you have a strain, call the doctor. Let the doctor know what's bothering you when the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. See you next week.